Thank you. Hello?
Yep. What's up?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. My name is Andre, and I'm not sure if you guys would be interested in this story because it didn't happen in Indianapolis, but it did happen in Indiana. And so I was just wondering if you guys would possibly be interested, and so that's why I'm calling.
Okay, what?
Yeah, right, okay. So basically, I have, by accident, I wasn't even looking for anything originally. I found a controversy within the Fort Wayne Police Department and now the City of Fort Wayne government, which I believe they're trying to conceal something. It deals with the police and department, and it deals with the police department searching people. And basically, it started with record requests, but as I've started to uncover things, I'm realizing it's much more than them just trying to hide records. They're doing it for a reason.
What reason?
Well, basically, I believe that they're operating a process and program of secret search warrants, which basically allow the police to bypass the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. And that, for example, this one criminal case where there's a man in jail right now, they, in my opinion, they either got a rubber-stamped warrant to search a vehicle, which got this man put in jail, or the warrant doesn't even exist at all, and they just searched it with no warrant at all. Either one is a bad choice, but basically when I started asking questions about the probable cause affidavit or search warrant return for this search warrant, there's a lot of shady answers and defensiveness, and nobody wants to give me this document, even though they've given me all sorts of other documents. I've gotten 29 pages of information regarding this one case. But when it comes to the actual proof of the warrant, I can't get it. And there's they've put up a lot of legal stone walls to try to get it.
Does it involve you?
No, I'm not the person who was searched. It's a long story how I got involved. Basically, this person who did get searched and put in jail, before he was put in jail, he created a video, which he put on YouTube. It's about 20 or 25 minutes long. That's how I found out who this person was. So fast forward to today, I've been looking into it. And originally when I started looking into it, I was not really that interested. I just have my own tiny little YouTube channel, which as a hobby, when I sometimes mirror other people's videos, or because like what I do is I try to add like a legal aspect to it. Like, for example, he got his vehicle searched through a protective sweep. So I was just trying to make a tiny video that would show why that was legal. I was actually going to make a pro-police video to show why the Fort Wayne Police Department was actually in the right. And then all I wanted was the probable cause affidavit for the search warrant, because I just put stuff like that. I'm kind of anal when it comes to details. So I was just going to put that in the description box of my video, just so that the viewers could see everything that happened. I wasn't even looking for trouble. And then once I started asking for that document, that's where I found this whole controversy. I wasn't even looking for it.
Yeah, I don't even know. Do you need to have a search warrant to search a vehicle? Don't they search vehicles like impromptu all the time?
Well, and that's where the Supreme Court has basically, and I'm no lawyer, but I do know these things from personal experience and just because I've done some research, but take what I say as a grain of salt. But basically, you can be pretty assured as to what I'm going to say here, because I have done this research, is that if they can articulate a reasonable suspicion that you are armed and dangerous, or potentially are, based on all the surrounding circumstances, they can order you out of the vehicle and do a protective sweep. And that comes from the case of Terry versus Ohio in 1968, where they can do a protective pat-down of someone who's on foot. The same concept is analogous to a vehicle, where if an officer detains a vehicle during a traffic stop, he can then do a protective sweep of the driver's seat area and passenger seat area of the vehicle for any weapons. So that is legal. But if they want to go into any portion of the vehicle where there's an expectation of privacy, that's the key right there, such as a locked trunk or a locked glove compartment, then they have to get a warrant from a judge, unless there's exigency Like if they pulled over, an Al-Qaeda terrorist, and there's a school that just got blown up, and they are dead certain that that's the guy, then yes, they can break in. But other than that, they need a warrant.
So I mean, what happened? Like, what'd they do? They searched somebody's vehicle without a warrant that they needed, and then the guy got put in jail. What did he have in there?
Well, and that's where the basically what I call the fluffing began. Is that okay? The original traffic stop, just the traffic stop itself, it's officially by the Fort Wayne Police Department was for speeding, which was 40 or 45 miles an hour in a 35 miles an hour zone. So that's the original reason for the stop. The driver then turns out to be a man named Trayvon, who did not have a driver's license. It was suspended. So he got a citation for that. He wasn't put in jail. He got a citation. The passenger, who was the owner of the vehicle, for whatever reason, the owner of the vehicle was not behind the wheel. Trayvon was, for whatever reason. The passenger was suspected of the police of hiding a gun or other criminal contraband in the locked glove compartment. And that passenger, who his name is William Roy Darnell Britt, he was arrested days later after the vehicle was searched, because what happened was the police released Trayvon and William on foot, and they declared the vehicle to be a potential, potentially harboring criminal contraband. So they were going to tow it, which they're legally allowed to do, to their impound lot and hold it for like 72 hours while they tried to apply for a search warrant from a judge. And that's all in the police report. And they're allowed to do that. But that's where everything gets suspicious, because they keep on typing in all these, and it's a lot of paperwork. So unless you're really looking, you wouldn't find what I'm talking about. But it makes it look on the surface as if the warrant was obtained. But it never was, from what I could find. They just keep on typing that they applied for it. But then when I actually tried to get the probable cause affidavit, that's where I found this whole suspicious circumstance where they won't produce it. And the warrant itself, when you look at it, because when the car was picked up by the fiance of this guy, William R.D. Britt, the warrant was sitting, supposed warrant, that's what they called it, was sitting inside the car in the impound lot. Nobody physically handed it to her. She's sitting inside the car. And I have a copy of this document. Now, they claim that this is a warrant, but it has no signature from anyone, which in and of itself is a violation of Indiana state law. We can get into that later, because there's a special format that it's supposed to be in, which it was not. But what's most suspicious is that at the signature line where it says judge, there's just a bunch of scribble, and there's no typed name underneath the signature line. So that's one of the first things that made me real suspicious about that supposed warrant, is that it was just like basically a piece of paper that said warrant at the top, had a bunch of scribble at the bottom, and that's it. No actual trail as to the police officer who applied for it and the judge who signed it.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's so what happened to this person that's in jail?
Okay, and that's why I keep pausing, because there's so much information here. I didn't want to overwhelm you. So here we go into phase 2, I guess, is that now William R.D. Britt, and this is in late September. The traffic stop, by the way, happened in the early morning hours of September 20th of this year. And so William and Trayvon, they're released on foot. The vehicle's taken to the impound lot. All that at that point is legal. Then the vehicle is searched with this mysterious search warrant where I can't obtain the probable cause affidavit. The vehicle supposedly, according to the police report, and I do have these documents as rock solid proof, you don't have to believe me. Supposedly, according to them, in the trunk was a backpack full of cocaine and ecstasy, like drug dealer quantities, including a scale for weighing it. And then also in the glove compartment, the locked glove compartment, were 2 small pistols. And so based on the criminal contraband of 2 small pistols in the glove compartment and the backpack full of drugs in the trunk, and the fact that William R.D. Britt is the registered owner of the vehicle, they then created a probable cause affidavit for arrest. They didn't get an actual search warrant, and that's key right there.
I'm sorry, say that all again, that last thing?
Yeah. Okay, so they say that they found all this stuff in the car, drugs and guns.
Uh-huh.
Then they typed up a document of probable cause for arrest, which is not the application for an arrest warrant. A lot of people who know absolutely nothing about the law, they don't know the difference. So if a police officer comes up and says, hey, turn around, put your hands behind your back, I have a probable cause for arrest affidavit, which I wrote, that's still a reason for them to arrest you, don't get me wrong. But legally, it doesn't have the same weight and power as if they went to a court and got a judge to review all of their, things that they wrote down, and then have a judge's signature put on that, because that transfers all of the accountability pretty much to the judge at that point. And that's what they did not do when it came to the arrest. And once again, I feel that that's no accident. I feel that that creates another layer of smoke and mirrors to where they could arrest this guy on illegally obtained evidence. Because if they had tried to get the warrant for arrest, they would have had to have shown the search warrant, which I don't even think exists, or if it does, it was probably a flimsy search warrant. So there's something wrong with it, because if it was 100% airtight, they would have just simply gone to the judge, just like they did for the search warrant, and applied for an arrest warrant, which would have been basically like, an ironclad way to get him put in jail and convicted. But instead, they wrote up a probable cause for arrest. And then on September 28th, about a week later after the first traffic stop, they then pulled him over in town while he was driving his car with his girlfriend or his fiance. And then they arrested him based on all the evidence they supposedly found with a search warrant in his vehicle in the impound lot. And now he's in jail today.
They pulled him over like a week later for what?
Well,
his girlfriend?
Right, I'm sorry, it's not his girlfriend, his fiance. That's what she claims to be. And so I pretty much call her his common-law wife, because it sounds like they've been living together. She takes care of his kids and all that. But anyway, on September 28th, they somehow, some way, found him driving around town in his car with his fiance, pulled him over based on all the supposed evidence that they found on the supposed search warrant that they had from the week before. And then they pulled him out of the car, placed him under arrest, took him to the Allen County Jail, and then after he was in jail for a couple days, he was then taken before a judge and arraigned on the charges of all these guns and drugs.
Uh-huh.
But that's where I think that things were not followed legally according to the U.S. Constitution, is that all that evidence, unless it was obtained with a legal, proper search warrant, should not be used against this man, because I don't think that they either had enough probable cause to get into that car, and the judge was just rubber stamping warrants, or at worst, I don't think they had a warrant at all. And I think that there's something going on here, and that's why I cannot get simple, basic documents about this search warrant, such as the probable cause affidavit, and then there's also something called a search warrant return, which I just made a request for earlier this morning, and that was apparently denied. I think they might have misread my email. Maybe they thought it was just a duplicate request. I'm going to have to call them back and remind them I'm asking for a new separate thing here. The search warrant return is something that's built into law, where they're supposed to, after they seize evidence, they have to go back to the judge and itemized list everything that was taken. And I don't know why they built that into the law, but I'm glad they did, because if I can get my hands on that document, then it'll at least prove to me that the search warrant at least existed. But that I'm having difficulty even obtaining that. So I really think there's something going on here.
So you think that the Fort Wayne police are arresting people and putting them in jail without obtaining proper search warrants?
Well, to be totally honest with you, I don't live in Fort Wayne, and I don't know the history there, but I have a gut feeling that it's not just normal people. I feel that they're doing this to people who are more vulnerable based on economic class, race, and criminal history. So, for example, William R.D. Britt, I mean, he's had a history of crime. I don't think he's done anything recently, or maybe he was involved in this guns and drugs thing, but basically in the past decade, he was in jail for robbery. And he served a sentence and was released. Now, because of that, being a convicted felon, obviously he gets treated less favorably by the law enforcement community. Now, and of course, if he gets arrested again, of course, a judge is going to view him less favorably when he comes before a judge. I believe that there's a possibility that when the police cut corners like this with search warrant procedures, that they're more than likely doing it to people like William who already have a record or who don't have much money to get a good lawyer or something like that. Because that way it's much easier to get away with doing the cutting of corners, because judges will quickly, like when that probable cause affidavit was submitted to the judge quickly said, "Oh, okay, I see probable cause here. You'll remain in jail until trial." Now, the judge didn't obviously, for whatever reason, ask all these questions that I asked about. Well, where's the search warrant? Was the search warrant valid? And all this. And I believe that that's because of William's past and the fact that he was in a high crime area and he was driving with another person. Trayvon, by the way, was in the police system for whatever reason. He was registered as a known gang affiliate. And for whatever reason, the police department creates this list of people around Fort Wayne who they declare to be part of gangs. And once you're on that list, it's like you're a second-class citizen. Now, they can order you out of the vehicle, do a protective sweep. It's like now you're blacklisted. And so just the fact that William was even in the car with Trayvon already made it all look suspicious to the law enforcement community and the judge. So that's what I'm trying to say here, is that I believe they're cutting corners, especially with people that they can easily get away with it.
Okay.
And then also when I spoke to his fiance and with William before he went to jail, and by speak I mean by Facebook Messenger.
Well, why do you care about this?
Well, I care about it personally because I've had my own issues in the past with law enforcement doing illegal searches on me and my vehicle. And so that's why I started my YouTube channel about a year ago. Because
and what is your YouTube channel?
The Horizon City News Service.
For what is it called?
It's 4 words, the Horizon City News Service.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll check it out.
Well, I appreciate that.
And I'm sorry, what's your name again?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I even gave it. My first name is Andre, Andrei. Middle initial K, last name Lagergren.
Could you spell that?
Yes, Lagergren as in Nancy.
Okay. Okay. So what do you want me to do?
Well, this sounded like a news gathering organization, so at the very least, you've already done one of the best things you could do, and that is just simply listen to me and not think I'm a lunatic, because when I've tried giving this information to other people and organizations, including William Britt's own lawyer, some people just dismiss me as some crazy guy. Like, I don't know if they think I'm making this stuff up or or what, but like people just won't even listen.
What do you want done?
Well, first of all, I just need the government to give me the basic documents I'm asking for.
You're asking for the search warrant, copy of the search warrant? Because I don't think they need a search warrant to search a vehicle. I think it's just a property or you, right? But they need probable cause to search a vehicle.
Again, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm almost certain, because I constantly look at the Fourth Amendment literally at least once a day sometimes, is this vehicle is considered property. So, and it's the property of William Britt. Now, to go into places where there's a reasonable expectation of privacy, like the trunk or the glove compartment, in this country, the police are supposed to go to a judge and have, the judge give them a search warrant to go into the glove compartment or trunk. Now, to do a protective sweep, like I said, at the roadside is one thing. But to go into places where there's an expectation of privacy, like the glove compartment, a locked glove compartment, by the way, not just one that opens easily, but locked. Because the lock creates the expectation of privacy. And the trunk, that is where you need a search warrant. And the police knew that. That's why they wrote in their own report. You don't even have to believe me. In their own report where they applied for the search warrant. Supposedly.
I'm sorry, say that again?
In their own report, they even say that they applied for the search warrant. Which,
oh, right. You said that they have said that they applied it several times.
Right. So even they admit that that is the law. But then when I actually tried to get the probable cause affidavit for the search warrant, and by the way, it's not just the police department. I forgot to mention this part. It's not just the police department that is being suspicious and ambiguous as to this search warrant's existence. I also went through another battle with the Allen County Courthouse, trying to get copies of this search warrant from the court system itself. And the court system, in writing, sent me emails saying not only was the search warrant secret and that I couldn't get it, but I was not even allowed to get the case number. Because what they did is, and this is where things get really sketchy, they filed, supposedly, and this doesn't sound like they've done the first time they've done this, they filed the search warrant process for the vehicle under its own separate case number. And based on that fact alone, just categorizing it as a separate...
How do you know that?
Because they told me, both on the phone and in writing. And then they said, well, because we filed the search warrant, or because the judge filed the search warrant under its own case number, that automatically means, according to our case management system, our court system, that it's now a confidential and sealed case. And that without the judge's approval, you can't receive what's inside that case, which is the search warrant. And that's separate and distinct from the criminal case that is keeping William Britt behind bars right now, which makes absolutely no sense to me, because obviously the reason William is in Britt is because of that search warrant. And then when I even tried to ask just for the case number, nothing inside the case, but just the case number of this supposedly secret search warrant case, they wouldn't even give me that, and they put that in writing. They said, no, you can't even have that because even the case number is considered confidential because it's separate. So that really made me think, what the hell is going on here, and what are they hiding?
I don't know. Man, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy. I don't know. Well, I have no point of reference for this. I mean, it's very, I don't even know. And we don't really cover Fort Wayne, but my gosh, I wish I had something to offer in the way of knowledge or, an opinion or anything. I mean, I don't have opinions really because I'm part of the news, so I can't really have opinions. So,
Well, I hate to interrupt.
There's corrupt cops, I believe that there is corrupt cops everywhere, sure.
Right.
And they'll just say, they'll try to do shady things.
Yeah, and the scariest thing is that if it can happen in the cover of darkness to someone who's treated less favorably by the law enforcement community, it can also eventually either 10 years from now or maybe a week from now, it could happen to someone that you might never expect.
Oh,
In
sure.
broad daylight. Yeah.
Sure. Yep. It certainly can.
And so
certainly
basically, yeah, and that's why there's supposed to be a rule of law, and I don't think it's being followed in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at least by the Fort Wayne Police Department Gang and Violent Crimes Unit. That's what I'm really focusing on. They have this unit called GVCU, Gang and Violent Crimes Unit. It was started.
Right.
Yeah, it was started in February of 2014. I believe that in February of 2014, that the Fort Wayne Police Department essentially started erasing portions of the U.S. Constitution because, and they had very good reasons, don't get me wrong, they started having a lot of killings and a lot of violent crime. So it's only natural that people in their community, including the police department, want to do something about that. But I think that they started crossing the line and are basically erasing the United States Constitution in their methods, good or bad reasons. I'm not going to judge them. But
what do you mean? They can't erase the U.S. Constitution. You mean like just not following it?
That's what I mean by erase, is that if they conspire together and they set up processes which allow them to bypass amendments of the U.S. Constitution, such as the Fourth Amendment, then that's, to me, that's the same thing as erasing the U.S. Constitution. It's as if you're living in another country, because other countries there is no Fourth Amendment. The police don't have to ask a judge to search; they just search. And so in this country, that's not how things are supposed to be. But in Fort Wayne, with the Gang and Violent Crimes Unit, apparently it's looking to me like they decided to search that vehicle, and they did so either with a rubber stamped warrant or no warrant at all. And then based on what they supposedly found, there's a man in jail right now who, more than likely, if things keep going the way they're going, he's going to go to prison for a long time based on all this stuff that they claim they found in this car, which I am seriously believing was not obtained legally, and that there's a man who's about to go to prison for illegally obtained evidence.
Well, that's bad.
Right.
That's very bad.
And I don't think it's the first time either.
Oh, well, I mean, anything is possible. So, yeah, that's pretty serious. That's bad news. That should not be happening. Absolutely not. No.
And and I know that you were saying, like, you feel kind of powerless. You're like, well, I don't know what I can do because I'm not even sure what your radio station normally covers. Like, maybe you guys just talk about, I don't know, like restaurants and travel. I don't know. But basically, I just wanted to at least reach out to as many Indiana organizations as I could. And even if you can't do anything, I wanted to just at least let you know about my YouTube channel. I can give you a specific video because I have many videos covering this whole investigation I've been doing. And so I wanted to give you the beginning video so that you could start from the beginning. And if you had the time, and you don't have to watch the video all at once. I mean, it's...
Well, yeah, what's your number?
My cell number?
Well, however to get a hold of you.
Yeah, no problem. My area code is 915-781-4330.
And what is 915? What are you out of?
Oh, I live in El Paso, Texas.
Well, okay. Well, you're down in El Paso.
Yeah, and that's another reason people definitely don't take me seriously. Like, I tried calling the Journal-Gazette. I spoke to one of the news editors. As soon as I said that I was in Texas, she immediately, I could just tell, she was rolling her eyes or raising her eyebrows. She's like, okay, like, just the fact that I'm not in Indiana and very far from Indiana, people try to somehow think that because of the distance I'm at, that means that what I'm saying is not legitimate. But
well, I know. Why do you care about what's going on in Indiana?
Well, because it's the same controversy that I go through here in Texas, I've traveled all over the country. I've dealt with this stuff in California, the East Coast, other parts of Texas. I mean, this Fourth Amendment controversy happens nationwide. So this is not, it doesn't matter if it happened in Indiana or Miami, Florida. I wouldn't care. If I found this controversy, I would have dug no matter where it happened.
Okay. Okay, so the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be searched. Okay.
The persons, or the places and persons to be seized, I believe is what it says.
Religion enforce the notion that each man. Okay, it protects against arbitrary arrests and is the basis of the law regarding search warrants, stop and frisk, safety and search. Other forms of surveillance still being too many. Okay. So basically, okay. So you're basically saying that Fort Wayne and police departments all over the country are doing this. Well, that's probably true. Yeah. There's lots of shady cops out there that do things they shouldn't do.
Well, actually, what's scary to me is I don't believe that a lot of these organizations, the Fort Wayne Police Department included, I don't even believe that some of these cops even consider themselves shady, because I think that the people who are actually doing it, the boots on the ground, are actually being told by the people above them to do this. So they're actually, it's not like a one rogue guy. This is a culture. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. My suggestion to you would be to call the Fort Wayne public radio station out there and talk to them and see, because they would probably even know some of the people, and they could probably look into that.
Well, that's another reason I got on the phone. Call the public radio
station out in Fort Wayne. What's that?
I'm sorry, sorry to interrupt, but that's another reason I got on the phone with you, is at the very least, if you could just point me in the right direction, such as like what you just said, because I have no idea what the different news organizations are in Fort Wayne or in Indiana as to what might be best. So if you know of a radio station in Fort Wayne, you could direct me to.
I don't know. Do you know of any radio station in Fort Wayne? Which one is it?
WBOI is the public radio station.
WBOI.
Yeah. Okay.
Look them up on the internet and give them a call.
I definitely will.
Okay, well, good luck to you.
Okay, and I'm sorry, what was your name again?
It's Sharon.
Sharon? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Sharon, I know that you're a busy lady, and you don't have to look at it today or anything, but whenever you get the chance, I'm not sure if you have your phone with you, if you found my YouTube channel, if you happen to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one episode I have in there.
Uh-huh.
It's got 570 views at this point, which to me is a lot, but to other people that's nothing. But anyway, it's my broadcast number 149, which I published on September 26th.
Okay.
It's an hour and a half long, so it definitely is not something you can just watch in 10 or 20 minutes. But whenever you have the chance to watch a bit or piece of it, that's the first episode that I made about this guy and this whole story. And
okay. All right.
Yeah. So
I gotta let you go now, though, because I got my client in here.
I understand. Have a great day.
Okay. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.